The lost moments. Stop scrolling right now because we need to have an incredibly honest conversation about a reality that is going to sting. If you have ever suspected, even for a split second, that a woman you desired was secretly attracted to you, but you hesitated, doubted yourself, and ultimately did nothing, this is exactly where everything changes for you. The brutal truth that most men face is a cycle of missed opportunities and quiet regret, not because they are inherently unattractive, flawed, or lacking in value, but simply because they are blind to the exact moment the dynamic shifts. You do not lose the interest of a woman because you aren't good looking enough, or because you don't possess some superficial standard of charm. You lose her because when the window of opportunity opens wide right in front of your face, you fail to see it, you freeze up, and you let the moment completely evaporate. The core issue stems from a massive, fundamental misunderstanding of behavioral dynamics. A woman's language of desire is radically different from a man's. When a man experiences attraction, his biology drives him to be overt, explicit, and direct. He feels the impulse and he acts on it by stepping forward. A woman's evolutionary programming operates on an entirely different frequency. When she feels a powerful spark of attraction, she does not rush forward or spell it out for you in plain English. Instead, she tests the waters. She deliberately curates the context of your interaction, and she quietly unlocks metaphorical doors. She stands back and watches intently, waiting to see if you possess the social awareness, the confidence, and the emotional intelligence to recognize the invitation and walk through it under your own power. The silent language of attraction. This subtle behavior is not some malicious form of manipulation, nor is it a childish mind game designed to frustrate you. It is pure, hardwired evolutionary biology. For thousands of years, the stakes of choosing a partner were incredibly high for women, meaning their safety, survival, and long term security depended entirely on their ability to screen a man's behavior before opening up to him. Because of this, that deep subconscious protective instinct dictates that female desire almost never screams at you. Instead, it whispers through micro expressions, subtle shifts in posture, and physical proximity. The problem is that most men are completely deaf to these whispers, remaining stuck in their own heads, overanalyzing words, while entirely missing the profound physical and psychological signals happening right before their eyes. Today, we are breaking down the three unmistakable, biologically driven signs that prove she is actively waiting for you to escalate, take the lead, and make a definitive move. If you are tired of the superficial pickup lines, the toxic internet advice, and the manipulative gimmicks, and you want to genuinely master practical behavioral psychology that actually makes sense in the real world, do yourself a favor right now. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and drop a quick comment below saying, "I'm listening." Taking a second to do this forces the algorithm to recognize the value of this psychological breakdown, pushing this exact message to the thousands of other men out there who are struggling in silence and desperately need to hear this truth. Now that you are fully locked in and ready to see the world differently, let's dive straight into the first undeniable sign: the language of physical contact. Sign number one is the phenomenon of the unnecessitated, lingering touch. This is the very first physical boundary to fall, and it is simultaneously the most common signal that men completely misinterpret or actively dismiss. When a woman initiates physical contact, the average man immediately gets trapped in his own head, making excuses for her and telling himself that she is just being naturally bubbly, highly expressive, or exceptionally friendly. But you need to understand a fundamental law of human interaction. Casual friendliness strictly abides by established social etiquette and polite boundaries, whereas genuine physical desire completely shatters them. She is not reaching out to touch you because she needs to get your attention in a crowded space, nor is she doing it because a room is loud or because she needs to physically guide you through a doorway. She is closing the physical distance between your bodies because her subconscious mind is seeking concrete, physical confirmation of the emotional and chemical connection she is feeling in real time. Her brain is literally testing your chemistry, assessing your physical presence, and gauging how your body reacts to hers. The absolute dead giveaway that separates a polite gesture from raw biological attraction is not the fact that she touched you, it is the exact duration of that contact. Human beings are incredibly finely tuned to physical boundaries. A platonic, casual touch between friends is always mathematically efficient, quick, and immediately gone. It leaves no trace. But when attraction is actively driving her behavior, the touch operates on a completely different timeline because it deliberately lingers for one extra second, sometimes two. That tiny, subtle micropause is everything. It is her autonomic nervous system overriding her logical, conscious mind and speaking directly to you before she can think to stop it. This manifests in seemingly innocent ways that carry immense psychological weight. She might brush her hand against your forearm while laughing at a joke, gently adjust a collar or a stray thread on your clothing, or lightly rest her hand on your shoulder or knee while sharing a story. If she initiates this contact, places her hand on your body, and does not immediately rush to pull it back into her own personal space, that is a mathematical anomaly in casual conversation. It is a biological invitation, and she is watching to see if you can hold that moment calmly and securely, or if you will panic and break the tension. The architecture of the gaze. Sign number 2 moves from physical touch to the incredibly nuanced world of nonverbal eye tracking, specifically how her eyes change direction when she looks at you. Everyone in the self improvement space tells you to look for basic eye contact, but almost nobody actually understands how eye contact functions when genuine attraction is present. It is not about a woman aggressively staring you down or locking eyes like a predator tracking prey. The real, undeniable psychological trigger is not how she initiates the look, but the precise, predictable pattern she uses when she finally breaks it. When a woman is looking at a man she desires, a flood of dopamine and norepinephrine hits her system, causing her pupils to involuntarily dilate, a physiological reaction that is completely hardwired into human biology and impossible to fake or consciously control. But the behavioral sequence you need to watch like a hawk is a very specific 3-step pattern. She locks eyes with you, holds your gaze just a beat longer than what is socially standard, and then slowly drops her eyes downward before bringing them right back up to meet yours. That specific downward glance is a critical, universally recognized microexpression of absolute receptivity and deep psychological vulnerability. By shifting her eyes downward instead of breaking eye contact horizontally to the left or right, she is subconsciously signaling comfort, submission to the moment, and a deep openness to your presence. She is deliberately leaning into the unspoken sexual tension to see exactly what kind of man you are based on how you handle the heat. This is the precise moment where men divide into 3 distinct categories. Weak, insecure men get overly excited by the sudden intensity, panic, and immediately try to rush or force the interaction forward, completely ruining the natural pacing. Clueless, anxious men get intimidated by the pressure, look away too quickly, and inadvertently kill the vibe entirely. But a grounded, secure man does something completely different. He stays entirely present in his masculine frame. He does not flinch or flee, and he simply holds the space, allowing the silent tension to safely compound between them. If you have ever experienced a moment where a room suddenly goes dead silent, where the air feels heavy and nothing is being said out loud, but absolutely everything is being understood, you are not experiencing an awkward pause. You are experiencing a woman testing the depth of your confidence, waiting to see if you have the strength to stand firm in her desire. The isolation dynamic. Sign number 3 is the ultimate indicator of high interest, and it happens when she aggressively isolates the two of you from the rest of the world. This profound behavioral shift occurs completely in plain sight, yet the vast majority of men walk right past it because it masquerades as a casual, practical logistical choice. Picture the scenario. You are in a loud room. A busy bar, a party, or a crowded social setting, surrounded by mutual friends, acquaintances, and constant noise. Suddenly, without any obvious external catalyst, she single handedly shifts the entire dynamic of the interaction. She might look at you and suggest that the two of you grab a fresh drink from the bar together, or she might ask you to step outside for a brief moment because she wants to show you something or escape the heat. Alternatively, she might stay exactly where she is, but completely lower her vocal registry to a soft whisper, forcing you to lean your head in and step significantly closer just to catch her words. By doing this, she is deliberately engineering a private bubble right in the middle of a crowd. This behavior is never an accident, a coincidence, or a random whim. It is a calculated, deeply instinctual move, driven straight by her subconscious mind. Before a woman can comfortably open up to a man, either emotionally, verbally, or physically, her internal psychology demands a safe, controlled environment, free from the prying eyes, judgments, and interruptions of the outside world. She needs to know that she has your undivided attention. And more importantly, she wants to see how you behave when the safety net of the group dynamic is completely removed. By drawing you into this private bubble, she is handing you the leadership on a silver platter. She is creating a stage specifically for you, waiting to see if you possess the sheer masculine confidence to claim that space, step into her energy, and elevate the intimacy naturally. Or if you will freeze up, play it safe, and hide behind polite, surface level small talk. When a woman goes out of her way to create privacy with you, she has already crossed the internal threshold of decision. She has already decided that she wants to experience an authentic, high tension connection with you. She is simply waiting to see if you have the internal strength to meet her at that level, or if you will mentally collapse, get intimidated, and let the pressure shatter the moment. Redefining your awareness. Failing to recognize these moments in your past does not mean you are a failure, nor does it mean you lack what it takes to attract the high quality women you desire. It simply means you were trying to play a high stakes game without ever being handed the rulebook. You cannot see a pattern that you don't even know exists. But from this exact second forward, that excuse is completely dead, and your entire worldview has shifted. The next time you find yourself interacting with a woman and you experience that subtle, lingering touch on your arm, notice that heavy downward glance after brief eye contact, or find yourself suddenly pulled away into a quiet, private conversation. You will no longer be trapped in a state of anxious guesswork. You will not have to wonder if she likes you, overanalyze her text messages, or ask your friends for advice. You will recognize the biological reality of the moment with absolute, unshakable clarity. And that recognition is where true, grounded confidence is born. If you are ready to take this to the next level and learn exactly how to respond to these invitations with complete composure, without using manipulative tactics, forced routines, or embarrassing, cheesy pickup lines, I have mapped out the entire step by step strategy for you. Click the link pinned in the description below to access my complete, unfiltered breakdown on how to smoothly transition from recognition to execution so attraction flows entirely naturally. Before you close this video, do one critical thing to lock this knowledge into your subconscious mind. Drop a comment below right now saying, "I see it now," because writing it down forces your brain to actively look for these patterns in the real world. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for the next direct lesson, because what I am dropping next is going to be even more raw and practical. Stop looking in the mirror and blaming your appearance, your wealth, or your status for your past dating frustrations. You didn't miss out on those incredible women because you weren't enough. You missed out simply because nobody ever took the time to show you where to look. Now your eyes are wide open. Use this knowledge wisely and go take action.